Wars in Ukraine, tensions in the Pacific, crises in the Middle East, and now the nightmare we hoped would never return: nuclear weapons on the battlefield. If Russia ever used a tactical nuclear weapon in Ukraine, everything would change. Not just the war, not just Europe, the entire world. It would be the first use of nuclear weapons in combat since 1945. A line crossed, a new era of risk and uncertainty. At the Survival Brief, we don't do fear-mongering. We do preparation and clarity. If you want grounded analysis that cuts through the hype, hit that like button and subscribe now. 1. What is a tactical nuke? A tactical nuke isn't the massive bomb that destroyed Hiroshima. It's smaller, designed for the battlefield. Its purpose? To break troop formations, supply hubs, or command centers. The yield might be a fraction of a kiloton, or up to several dozens kilotons, but size doesn't matter here. The political shock is bigger than the blast.
2. Why is this even possible? Russia's military doctrine says nukes can be used if the state itself is at risk. Western experts read that as lowering the threshold. It's not just words, it's a signal. And recently, Putin himself mocked NATO, saying, "If Russia is a paper tiger, then what does that make NATO?" This is nuclear signaling. It's meant to intimidate and to remind the world that Moscow holds cards no one wants played. 3. If it happened on the battlefield. Picture this: an Iskander missile, a 10-kiloton warhead, fired at a Ukrainian military hub. The blast rips through vehicles, buildings, and troops. The shockwave tears windows apart for miles. The heat burns skin and blinds eyes. Radiation spreads, fallout drifts on the wind. Hospitals buckle, panic spreads, fear races across the globe. And yet, militarily, it doesn't guarantee victory. The ground becomes contaminated. Even Russian troops would struggle to move through it. The advance slows, commanders hesitate. 4. The global firestorm. The first confirmed detonation would trigger shockwaves far beyond Ukraine. NATO and the G7 meet in emergency session. Eastern allies demand strong military retaliation. Others warn caution or risk World War III. China, which has said nukes should never be used, would be forced to distance itself from Moscow. India would feel the pressure to condemn. Even neutral states couldn't stay silent. Russia wouldn't just be an adversary anymore, it would become a global pariah.
5. America's dilemma. And then the world would turn to Washington. What should the U.S. do? There are 3 options. Option 1, massive retaliation. Strikes on the units that launched the nuke, missile brigades, air bases, command centers. The goal? Punish Moscow, show strength. But risk? Immediate escalation in Ukraine and beyond. Option 2, calculated hesitation. Slow down, consult NATO, the G7, build a coalition before striking. Safer on paper, but risk? Division. Moscow would exploit hesitation as weakness. Option 3, strategic restraint. No military strikes. Instead, sanctions, cyberattacks, total economic isolation. Short-term benefit, avoid wider war. Long-term cost, U.S. credibility collapses. Adversaries like Iran, North Korea, and China start to doubt deterrence. None of these paths are clean. Every choice carries danger. 6. Impact at home. The shock wouldn't just be overseas, it would hit Americans directly. Markets crash, stocks tumble, oil and gas prices spike, groceries and fuel cost more. Russian cyberattacks target U.S. banks and utilities, power outages, online chaos, delays everywhere. Families feel the stress. Veterans remember Cold War drills. Anxiety rises. This isn't abstract, it's personal. 7. Escalation ladder. One strike wouldn't end the story. It would be step 1. Russia could escalate further. strategic bombers on patrol, submarines moved into new waters, even more small-yield detonations as signals. NATO would respond in kind. Bomber flights, missile defenses deployed, submarines surfacing. And here's the danger. Every signal increases the chance of miscalculation. A radar glitch, a cyber false alarm. One mistake could spark global catastrophe.
8. The hardest question. So, the question is this: is nuclear deterrence still real? Would Moscow ever risk it? And if they did, how should America respond? Strike back hard, risking escalation? Or hold back, risking credibility? There's no easy answer, but one truth remains: the consequences would shape the entire global order. It wouldn't just be a military strike, it would be a civilizational shockwave. So, what do you think? If Moscow crossed the nuclear line, how should Washington respond? Comment your take below. And subscribe to the Survival Brief, where we cut through fear, deliver facts, and prepare you for the challenges ahead. Stay sharp, stay ready, and we'll see you in the next breakdown.